We're joined in studio by Chief Mark Hill. We have a weekly update right now as we kind of proceed through this COVID-19 pandemic, and he's here today to keep us updated as to what's going on. He has a list of things he has to get through, so take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. Good afternoon, Six Nations. I want to firstly acknowledge and thank Councillor Nathan Wright for providing the update last week. Again, I just a short and sweet update for this week. I just want to provide two updates, one being on our businesses and next steps, as well as bread and cheese. As you know, and I know Jukasa is going to be a part of those festivities. So first off, I guess I want to begin by at least advising on the updates as to the steps that we've taken for our businesses here. I'm in constant daily conversations with both the provincial and federal governments. As some of you are aware, the federal government had made an announcement about 2-3 weeks ago that had given, the announcement was funding for Indigenous businesses across the country. Part of the problems that we have seen specific to that funding in Six Nations is that through the Aboriginal financial institutions, the AFIs, normally they're called, is that our businesses are not clients of those AFIs, and a lot of them aren't signed up through Two Rivers Development. So again, we've really seen that the criteria doesn't fit or match to support our local businesses. So again, we're having those daily conversations to see on looking to change that criteria to better support our businesses in regards to that specific funding. Another area that I wanted to touch on is in collaboration with our Six Nations Development Corporation, as well as Two Rivers, which helped develop our own Six Nations specific business stimulus package. And what that is all entailed of, again, is all of the impacts that we've seen in the relation to COVID-19 and our response that we've taken. Obviously, we hear loud and clear the frustrations and everything regarding the impacts that are having with our businesses, and I think with the measures that we have in place, we have to be able to support those businesses. So one of the things that we do have coming up this upcoming Tuesday at our next general finance meeting is going to be just a discussion on that point, and as to next steps and decisions as to how we can best support our businesses in the now. My office has received a number of phone calls regarding, businesses need assistance with, bills and rent and things like that in the emergency, in the now. So, we want to be able to support those businesses. So look to, setting up some sort of either a Six Nations specific a fund for our businesses so that they can apply. Again, we don't want to make it as the time, as frustrating as these times are and difficult as these times are. We want to make the processes as simplified as possible. And so, we're really looking to those areas as to how we can be best supportive of our businesses. And we just really, we want them to know that, we haven't forgotten about them. And we know, we have a wide range, as we all are well aware, we come from a very entrepreneurial community. And we have a wide range of businesses ranging from all levels, small to large, to factories, to the industry of tobacco and things like that, right? So we want to be able to again look to what those phased approach is going to look like in terms of the reopening of our economy. We've always talked about made the priority of our health and safety of our members as the top priority. So we need to maintain that all while still looking to how we are going to be recovering our economy through this COVID-19 time. Again, we have to go and listen to our experts that we have through the Public Health Office and our Health Director and Services, and through their Emergency Control Group. They have guided us thus far and have done a tremendous job in making sure that we continue with our project Protect Our People. And again, as we shift towards, we've seen the province lay out their plan in terms of what that phased approach looks like for the economy in Ontario. We're following suit, but we need to understand and we need to make it clear that, the last thing that we want is an influx of traffic back here and opening that high risk back up for exposure to COVID. in that transmission. So, what we want to see is in those phase approach is the details as to what those phases will look like. We want to work with businesses in order, as we see already businesses that have been deemed essential. I think those are, they have already put practices and measures in place, and we thank them for putting those health and safety measures in place in order to do business in a safe manner. But again, we need to look again a step further to our non-essential businesses and how we can best support them in the now and moving forward. And so we're really, again, the constant dialogue with both provincial and federal governments, as I mentioned earlier, about the specific Six Nations stimulus package, business package that is going to be given to the federal government. Obviously, again, to start those discussion points, to back up, what we've been saying, and again, the data to match as to the impacts that we've had and seen over the weeks since we've put up the restriction of access to the territory. Obviously we see these big impacts having a huge issue within our community in itself. So we want to be able to tell our businesses, we want to work with you. We want to be able to, come up with guidelines and health and safety measures so that everybody is safe. We're looking to, the employees, the staff, our community members, consumers, customers that come here. Eventually we need to be able to have those conversations and come up with this detailed plan, from a very strategic and methodical way. Again, the last thing we want is the influx of traffic to come through, again, to higher expose the potential risk of, contracting COVID-19. So, what we're doing is, again, you'll see further updates and more information as they become available. But again, we want our businesses to know that we are advocating on their behalf to the federal and provincial governments, and also we are discussing and continue to have dialogue and make some good decisions based upon how we can support our businesses in the now. So again, we have our upcoming general finance meeting where those conversations will continue, and hopefully decision will be made as to next steps as into what that will look like. So again, further information and updates will be provided as that information becomes available. The next piece that I wanted to get into, as we all know, we're coming up to the long weekend. We need to still, as much as we've had, the importance of our community coming together, and I think with it was back and forth in council in terms of what we were going to do with bread and cheese, if we were going to cancel it entirely, or if there was a way that we could come up with a very again innovative and creative way while still practicing the health and safety guidelines to do bread and cheese. So again, we are going to be delivering bread and cheese to the homes. Obviously, it's not going to be the normal bread and cheese where we normally gather at the arena and hand out. As we can't gather in large gatherings and things like that. So bread and cheese is going to be a little different this year. We thought, in the decision moving forward was so that we could have a little bit of normalcy in such a difficult time. As we talk and we see what bread and cheese means, and to me, I feel like it's a time where our community has that opportunity to come together, and that has always been that celebration of coming together for that day. And again, that's exactly what we need now and to continue is to see our community come together. So again, just to go over a couple points. So we will be adhering to all health and safety measures, including physical distancing, face masks, gloves, utilizing sanitizer, and as well as keeping the minimal volunteers that will be assisting us. We are going to continue working under the guidelines through public health and the emergency control group, as well as the environmental health officer, Minnesota Public Health, as well as our own health services. Again, we are looking to the volunteers that will be assisting us this year from the Six Nations Agriculture Society, as well as the Farmers Association, who have generously donated their time and equipment to provide trucks and trailers so that we can travel throughout the community for the delivery. Again, another generous partnership that we've had is with Cool Kids, ICE, who have again generously donated their refrigerated vans to store the bread and cheese so that we could travel the routes again throughout the territory. Each household will receive 1 loaf of bread and cheese that will all be individually wrapped. Again, I want to stress the importance of, we're doing this as one per household. We do realize our off-reserve members, unfortunately, at this time, can't participate. Again, we're going to deliver homes that are on the territory, and you must have a basket or a bucket or a cooler or some other container at the end of your laneway, as well as you or a family member must be in close proximity. We will not leave bread and cheese unless we see a container and a person that container belongs to. The last thing that we want to see is bread and cheese all over the territory.
Yeah.
But again, we've come up with 4 routes. We do have a map that we've established. Each of the routes will begin starting delivery in between 9 a.m. and 9:15 a.m. on Monday. I look to and ask that you follow our social media pages as well as our website, where you can find all the details of each of the routes so that you can have that approximate time when you can expect bread and cheese at your laneway. Again, we're going to be working with volunteers, as minimal volunteers as we can, again, to practice that safe social distancing, as well as myself and counselors will be the ones distributing the bread and cheese. Again, we're just looking to see that I think this is an opportunity that we can also really thank our frontline workers and our essential workers who have done so much throughout this time. That's inclusive to, our first responders, our police, our fire, our ambulance, as well as all of the community members who are manning the checkpoints. It's been a very collective effort in terms of, as we see currently, our cases are at zero active cases as of today. But we know this is a way that I feel our community can come together and be able to acknowledge all of the work on our frontline workers and essential workers and all of those people who have been contributing so much of their time and effort to protect our people. And I think this is an opportunity where we can have just at least even a day, if so, of normalcy, and to see how we could again lift each other up and just have a day of community spirit. We want to stress the importance of, we know we're not out of the clear. We know that we still have to maintain what we've been the guidelines that we've been putting in place. Again, the constant hand washing, the constant social distancing, the looking at areas following public health guidelines. So again, as we know, this isn't over yet, and so again, we just want to take a little break of COVID-19 and have the opportunity to do that. And we thought, what better way than bread and cheese to just do that. So again, another little added bonus that Councillors Michelle Bombery and Councillor Wendy Johnson are donating 2,500 vegetable plants. Again, although it's a small token, 1 plant will be given to each household in addition to the bread and cheese. Again, we're just trying to again put some normal into our lives as best as we can, while still making sure we're adhering to the guidelines that are in place. Again, we understand that many of our members who live outside of the community will miss out this year, and we just want to ask them for their understanding, at this point in time, in terms of the measures that we've had to take. And again, just to maintain the physical distancing and everything else that we're going to be putting in place. So this upcoming Monday, I ask that you continue to, stay home, stay healthy, and that we look to Monday, this upcoming bread and cheese, of doing things a little bit differently this year. And a little bit in terms of creativeness and some innovation as to how we will be delivering bread and cheese. So I ask that you look and follow our social media platforms and pages that will give you a direct, each route will have each direct details as to the specifics of each route. And again, those times when you can approximately expect it at your laneway. And again, I think it's just going to be a great day to see some of our members, to have again that hello, how are you, how are things, check-in type of thing, all while being able to celebrate our frontline workers as well. And again, so I want to ask everybody again to continue what we've been doing here at Six Nations. I feel we've been doing a very good job. Our emergency control group, all of the team, that has been, you know, working around the clock diligently to continue to protect our people while we find the difficultiness of COVID-19 in our response that we've had to take. So again, have a great long weekend. Again, continue to practice, you know, all the measures that are in place, and we will continue to get through this. So again, I ask to follow our social media pages, and we will see you on Monday for Bread and Cheese.
Absolutely, and let's not forget, once in a lifetime, something like this is happening, right? We're
That's
all
right.
living through a once in a lifetime experience, and obviously making the best of it is all we can do. So obviously, Bread and Cheese Day isn't what you're used to, but it's just this one time, and make the best of it, and you know, just go outside and say hi to someone, and really that's all we can do.
That's exactly it. So we're looking forward, and we can't wait to at least have somewhat of some type of engagement with our community.
Absolutely. Chief Mark Hill, thank you so much for coming in. We'll see you next week, and obviously good luck on Monday for Bread and Cheese Day. I will be here inside, but I'm sure I'll hear all kinds of things and see all kinds of things.